87%. That's the casualty rate for Soviet tank crews in 1943. Not a typo. For every 10 men who climbed into a T-34 at Kursk, only one walked away uninjured. Let's expose the 3 deadliest tanks to crew in World War II, and it's not what Hollywood taught you. Number 3, the M3 Lee. Americans called it the Grant. Soviets, who received them through Lend-Lease, called it a grave for 7 brothers. 7 crew members in a tank 11 feet tall with riveted armor. When shells hit riveted armor, the rivets became bullets inside the tank. The 37mm gun in the turret was useless against German armor. The 75mm gun was mounted in the hull. You had to expose the entire tank to fire. Life expectancy in combat? 4.2 hours. A British tank commander reported, "The Lee's profile was so high, German gunners used them for ranging practice. They'd zero their guns on a Lee, then engage the real threats." In Tunisia, an entire squadron of Lees was destroyed in 12 minutes. Not a single German tank was knocked out in return. But here's where it gets interesting. The Lee had escape hatches everywhere, top, sides, bottom, more than any other Allied tank. Why? Because the designers knew crews would need them. They literally designed it, expecting crews to bail out. 1 in 3 Lee crews abandoned their tanks before they were even hit when facing German armor. Number 2, the Churchill Mk1. The British built 300 before realizing the design was fatally flawed. The tank's Vauxhall engine produced 350 horsepower for 39 tons. That's 9 horsepower per ton. A loaded truck had better power-to-weight ratio. Maximum speed, 15 miles per hour. In combat, it managed 4. But speed wasn't what killed Churchill crews. The 2-pounder gun couldn't penetrate German armor at any range. The 3-inch howitzer in the hull had 48 rounds, firing smoke shells. The tank literally couldn't hurt enemy armor. At Dieppe, 29 Churchills landed. None survived. Every single one was destroyed or abandoned. Here's the darkest part. The Mk1 steering system failed when hit. The tracks would lock, spinning the tank in circles. German gunners learned to hit the track guards first, then methodically destroy the spinning tank. Crew survival rate when the steering failed, 0%. A captured German anti-tank gunner said, "Churchill tanks were our favorite targets. Slow, blind, and they burned beautifully. We felt sorry for the crews." Now let's talk about the deadliest of all. Number 1, the T-34 model 1941. The Soviets built 35,000 of them. Less than 2,000 survived the war. Do the mathematics. That's a 94% loss rate. The average T-34 lasted 3 months from factory to destruction. The average crew lasted 6 weeks. The T-34's armor was excellent. Its gun was powerful. Its mobility was revolutionary. So why did crews die? Because Soviet tank design philosophy considered crew survival optional. The commander was also the loader. He couldn't command while loading, couldn't load while commanding. No radio, only 1 in 10 T-34s had them. Crews communicated with flags. But here's the real killer. The T-34 had 2 crew hatches for 4 men. When the tank was hit, 2 men could escape. The driver and bow gunner shared 1 tiny hatch. In combat, only 1 made it out. Soviet doctrine: build more tanks faster, train more crews faster. The transmission was in the rear. Drive shaft ran through the fighting compartment between the commander and gunner. When penetrated, the drive shaft became a whirling club of death. It would beat the crew to death inside their own tank. Germans called it the Soviet crew killer. Vision was non-existent. The commander had 1 periscope with a 4-degree field of view. German tanks had 5 periscopes with 360-degree vision. T-34 crews literally couldn't see who was killing them. They fought blind, commanded blind, died blind. A Soviet tank veteran testified, "We'd lose entire companies in an afternoon. 10 tanks would leave. 1 would return. We'd get new tanks that night, new crews who'd never driven before, and attack again at dawn." Here's the brutal mathematics of tank warfare. For every Tiger lost in combat, the Allies lost 5.3 tanks. But Tigers required 2,000 man-hours of maintenance per 100 miles. T-34s required 10 hours. The Soviets built 84,000 T-34s. The Germans built 1,350 Tigers. The final, darkest truth? These death traps won the war. Not through superior design, but through the arithmetic of sacrifice. We built tanks faster than crews died. That's not victory. That's industrial murder with acceptable loss rates.